Hi guys, I'm live. How we doing? Okay, welcome to the MMMM Club. I have to apologize because we are starting a smidgen late today. However, here we are. Welcome, welcome. I'm gonna go make a little tag in the Facebook so people know we're live. I know we're starting a little bit late. Happy full moon. We just had a full moon in Leo. I'm looking for our 9 of Cups because we're grounding ourselves and loving ourselves as a verb. And what I would like to hear from you, there we go. I see me live. Hey, everyone. We are live. Hey, Brittany. Okay. Hey, Melissa. Good, folks are tuning in. I'm so sorry for keeping you waiting a couple minutes today. I was rushing around like, I'll just do this before the broadcast. And then I looked at my clock and I was like, oh no, I want the broadcast right now. So it's not like I have no excuse. The problem is me. But luckily it didn't go on for too long. Okay, here we are. I'm looking for our 9 of Cups because it's time for us to ground ourselves in self-love and self-care as a verb. What does it mean to seek your serenity? What does it mean to give yourself the safety you are seeking? What does it mean to show up for yourself as number one? And allow for this moment to be enough. The only moment is now. These are my questions for you. By the way, I'm live on Facebook as well as YouTube. If you'd like to be tuned in from one or the other, you can go to either one. The YouTube link that is in your email always works. Hey, Nancy. Hey, Judith. All right, let me make this big on my screen so I get all your comments. Great. All right. Folks are tuning in. We just had a new moon, or not a new moon. I'm so sorry. My brain keeps saying new moon. We just had a full moon in Leo. And we are working with the 9 of Cups today. We're working with the 9 of Cups forever for this whole moon cycle. And the question is, what do you love yourself enough to give yourself? How can you gift yourself the peace you deserve? I want to draw a careful line today between us gifting ourselves the peace we deserve, but not going into hyper independence. Because yes, some of the peace we deserve is relational. Some of the peace we deserve is allowing ourselves the right to say yes when someone says, hey, I'm going to help you. Hey, I care about you. Do you need a buddy? Right? Allowing ourselves not to have to face every single thing alone. Right? However, coming home to ourselves and allowing it to be a homecoming where we feel safe in our bodies and safe in ourselves, that's an ongoing practice, right? It's an ongoing practice, just like keeping a home, keeping a house, keeping an apartment is an ongoing practice. Sometimes your room gets messy and you need to clean it up, right? Sometimes there are chores that get away from you. Sometimes there are things you have to do to make your home feel more homey, feel more safe, right? And similarly with our relationship with ourselves, with our squishy human bodies, sometimes there are things that we need to do to make ourselves feel more like home to ourselves. Can anyone relate to the feeling that home sometimes is a person, or sometimes home is people? Home is where the heart is. Home is where, I've been saying a lot this year, home is where the cat and the guitars are. You know what I mean? And I want us to experiment this month with asking ourselves, what does it look like to make ourselves the home that we deserve? Coming home to our breath, coming home to our body, coming home to our inner wisdom, coming home even to our own mishigas, like our own shit, our own, like, whatever that we're so familiar with, and allowing it, instead of feeling like, oh God, it's just me doing my stupid this thing again, allowing it to feel like, I know this, I'm familiar with this. You know what I mean? I don't have to live in these patterns forever, but oh, look at me. Look at me. There I am doing that thing I always do. In the same way we might look at a friend, you know, in the same way, we might take a friend in hand and be like, "Hey, I see you. You're overthinking this the way you often do, or you're, overcommitting yourself the way you often do. And I just want to remind you, I love you and you don't have to." How does it feel to recognize our patterns lovingly instead of in frustration and anger with ourselves, right? What a concept. What a friggin' concept. How are we doing? Hydration checkpoint. We just had a murmuration of blackbirds come to the backyard. There must be over 100 thinking about what messages they may be sending you. That's so delicious. Oh, Brittany, this is amazing. I have a Nine of Cups related idea. What do you think of a customized offering glass with my own name on it that I literally fill? I have something I want to share to you with you about that as soon as I get through the comments. I love that. I'm obsessed with it. Home is where my peace is. Ooh, Melissa, delicious. We love that. Nancy says, thinking about community. Judah says, home used to be a person or a group of person. I'm so desperate to be in a place that feels like home. And extending that idea, can we let ourselves be the person who is home? That doesn't mean we're not allowed to need other people. That doesn't mean we're not allowed to want other things. So don't let me toxic bypass you. That's not what I want to do here. I don't want us to feel like, oh, it's fine. I have everything I need in me, and it's fine, even though it doesn't feel fine. But can we allow ourselves to be the safe person that we come home to as well, right? Can we think about what the actions that looks like? If coming home to someone safe feels safe because they ask about how your day is, and maybe they've done something nice for you that now you don't have to do, like running a bath or making you a hot cup of tea or setting something up for you to watch together, right? If that's why home feels safe, coming home to another person, can you ask yourself, can I give myself that? Instead of chasing the feeling, can we do the action, right? Because actions are what begets feelings. The reason another person feels like home is because of how they've treated you and how it feels to be around them. So can we take the actions that will make ourselves feel like home? That's my question for us in these next 2 weeks as the moon is waning. Can we take the actions that will make ourselves feel like home? Can we take the actions we would take if we were going to be home to another person, right? If someone we cared about was coming home and we knew maybe they'd had a rough day and we were like, how can I make them feel so good that they're coming home? Can we turn those actions on ourselves? Eileen says, home is somewhere where acceptance lives in my body. Not always accessible to me at this time. Thank you for that, because that's very real. But it's a wish to be there full time. Melissa says, I used to have a teacup on my altar and fill it with water and say, I fill my cup, I let things go. I am the priority as I fill it. I love that. I remember that. I remember you telling me about that, and I think it's incredible. I drink it at the end of the day. Now, after a long time, I do the same, but every time I fill my water cup or my Brita filter. I love that. That's delicious. And I love bringing that into something you're just doing all the time anyway, So answer me these questions 3. Question number 1. Where are you tuned in from? I'm broadcasting live from Long Island in New York. Question number 2, what you sipping on today? As you can see, I have a beautiful bottle of purified Aldi water. By the way, my sister did my nails. Look how cute. Yeah. Question 3. How are you feeling today? I want the real answer, not the polite answer. How you feeling? How you feeling? For real, for real. We're a safe space here. I want to explain to you that I ask these same questions at the beginning of every single broadcast I do, whether it's music or whether it's tarot or whether it's us and we see each other every single week, so you know what's coming, or whether it's, a one-off live stream with people who have never seen me before, for an event, or whether it's something else. I ask them at the beginning of every live stream I do, and it's for a very specific reason. It's because our brains and our squishy human bodies respond to repetition, and asking safe questions that you know and expect again and again set up this safe space. It helps us set the tone of like, we're here together. We're here together in community, and the way you feel is important. We're here together in community, and we're checking in on ourselves right now. And over time, that allows these broadcasts, wherever we are, whether we're here in the Monday, in the Monday Club, whether it's Monday Night Muses, whether it's a random live stream that I'm doing, to feel like a safe space, to feel like we can be like, okay, I'm here, I'm safe, right? That's a way that I cultivate safety in my community. Giving ourselves these repeated things is a way we can cultivate safety for ourselves. And I didn't answer how I'm feeling. I'm feeling very overwhelmed this morning, but I'm feeling good, in part because of what I just said, because showing up and doing this broadcast every Monday morning is a safety and a touch point for me. And when I sit down and talk to you about what the moon is doing and what we're focusing on and how we're caring for ourselves this month, it takes me into the mental state of like, oh, we're focusing on the self-care, we're focusing on our spirituality. And it brings me to an emotional place without a lot of effort, because now it's habit, right? So I was feeling very, very panicky and stressed about half an hour ago, and I'm feeling a lot less so. And it's because of you guys. It's because we're all here together in this space we co-create. So friggin' yay is how I feel about that. I feel delighted that I've successfully hacked some safety into my life by doing this. And what I wanted to say to you, Brittany, about the offering cup is that I work with different guides, and I don't talk a lot about my relationships with my guides spiritually because it's personal. And I also try to keep all of my kind of spiritual flavored stuff pretty accessible to people of differing beliefs and different opinions and different experiences. And I don't want to push my experience on anyone. And because it's sacred to me. And so I don't want to expose something sacred to me to, possibly someone not understanding or criticizing or trying to poke holes in it in a way that would make it feel bad, right? So it's a self-safety thing. But in working with my guides, I will share with you here, I often make an offering. If I'm sitting down and doing, and connecting, I often open that. Or if I'm taking a walk and connecting, which is how I do often, I open it with an offering. Sometimes it's like a food or something to drink, sometimes it's the offering of like a physical experience, like the walk that I'm inviting my guides to share in with me. And a catchphrase for this time has become, the first offering is to yourself. It's a reminder that I shouldn't be making offerings, even to my spiritual guides, from an empty cup. The first offering is to myself. I have to give myself the nice things I give to everyone. If it's a moment of mindfulness because you're biting into a piece of chocolate and it feels so good, the first offering in the trust I've established with my guides, with my spiritual partners in this world, the first offering is to me, not them. And then I can make the offering from a place of generosity rather than obligation. So I encourage you to vibe with that in different ways in your life if it's helpful to you. The first offering is to myself. I'd love to fill other people's cup. I'd love to be a problem solver, but the first offering is to myself. How can I give those things to me? And I have a lot of questions today that are going to take the form of a meditation that you can either sit with or walk around and listen to or journal about today. I'm going to be asking questions, and I'm going to be asking you to tune into how your body feels when I ask them, as we celebrate this full moon in Leo. And as we celebrate Imbolc, the coming of spring, also called Candlemas in some traditions, which I happen to like because I just think it sounds nice. One of the ways that we celebrate is by turning on every light in the house for a few minutes. That's like a tradition. Or lighting a bunch of candles, anything to bring a bunch of light into the house to remind ourselves the light is coming. And so I'm shining light on this full moon in Leo and this Imbolc together, both light-tastic events. We're shining a light. Okay, let's see what the comments say. Tuning in for my study, I have a fresh bottle of water and now cold coffee. I'm feeling like accidental iced coffee. We love it. What a treat. I'm feeling like the needle is moving and it's making me feel hopeful. I'm a bit more in tune with myself this morning, which is delicious. That is delicious. I'm sipping water, but also just made a smoothie. I'm at the CCC getting ready for an entire day and night of work. I felt very motivated today, so I also did a lot of house stuff since I was up early. Love it. But also, I know what a marathon Mondays are for you. I could have let my body rest and maybe should have, but I know Tuesdays usually chat for me and the rest of the week is really busy, so I feel really good about getting these things done today. Investments for future, Melissa. My home is not only where I live, but also a performance space. I always mentally prepare the space before house concerts, sending love and acceptance to everyone from our concerts. Lately, I've been praying to Lakshmi to make my home a place where all feel seen, safe, and loved, and to provide physical and emotional prosperity so we can be generous with others. I just want to say I do feel seen, safe, and loved in your home, Nancy. I've been in your home in that context, and it's a wonderful, warm, welcoming space. It has such an incredible energy. Eileen says, in my comfortable living room, as I have the house to myself, delicious for a few more hours. Drinking Cinnabon coffee. Ooh. Wicked headache since the middle of the night. I'm so sorry. Everyone, please send some headache fixing vibes to Eileen. My husband has been away for 5 days. I've needed and enjoyed my alone time. I love that that's been a celebration for you instead of a stress, that you've had this wonderful alone moment. Tuning in from Dover, DE, the center of my bird universe. Yes. Sipping on coffee, feeling like I have a lot of stuff going on this week, mostly doctor's appointments. This year, I really want to lean into my spiritual growth since it's been so empty for the last few years. That's a delicious realization, and you have so much room to do that. And especially right now, in my opinion, in bulk, what a great time to reconnect. What a great time to recommit. Nine of Cups. We're doing self-love as a verb this month. That's the mantra. Love is a verb, love is a verb, love is a verb, meaning we can do it. We don't have to wait until we feel it and feel like something's wrong or broken, that we don't feel it. We can just do it, right? And when we're in a relationship with a friend or a lover or a family member or someone we're working with or any of the above, and we feel like things are gone awry in the relationship, what do you do if you want to fix that relationship, if you don't feel safe in it? Maybe you talk it out. Maybe you make a list of different ways that your needs are and are not getting met. Maybe you try to get to the bottom of the problem. And if it's a healthy relationship where both parties want to make it work, right? Both parties come away with some actions they can do. You don't feel seen and appreciated. So I'm going to make an effort to notice the different things you're doing for ourselves and our community and our household and directly say, thank you, I see this, so that you feel more seen and appreciated, right? I'll verbalize it to you. Oh, I'm hearing that we don't feel safe because all of our time together is spent just doing actions that have to be done instead of just simply connecting. So maybe we build some time to just spend time together without a goal, right? Oh, I'm hearing that you don't feel safe because you felt that I said something to you and you didn't like the way it sounded and I didn't want to hear you about that. So maybe we can talk it out now, and maybe we can make a commitment to re-talk about some things that come up like this once a week, right? We find the verbs and the safety builds over time. And wonderful news, we can do that with ourselves. And even better news, you don't need another person's buy-in to do it with yourself. When you're trying to fix a relationship with a family member, with a friend, with a partner, it's always dependent on them agreeing with you that, yes, there's some work that needs to be done here. But if you feel your relationship with yourself needs some work, good news, you are you. You don't need to get any buy-in. You can just identify it. You can just brainstorm some things. and start doing them, right? Love is a verb. Love is a verb. Love is a verb. We put the work in and we feel the love, not the other way around. Oh, we wait till we feel the love to put the work in. Well, you're going to be waiting, right? We put the work in so that we can feel the love, so that we can feel the safety. And that's what we do here together. We put the work in for our relationship with ourselves. And part of that is community. The work for having community is part of self-love, giving yourself loving community, people who understand where you're at and are cheering you along and are peers, you know what I mean? And part of it is just connecting to making time and space for us to work on this relationship with ourselves. Oh my gosh. Judith says, I've only had a brief nap, got an emergency call from Bobby at his nursing home at 4:44 a.m. He was in excruciating pain. The nurses were not responding. Ugh, that's a lot. I hope that he got what he needed, and I hope you are able to get some rest today. Eileen says they did a lot of snow, moon, and invoke practices, which I never heard of before, but came to me over and over the past few days. That's so delicious. I love that. Love is a verb is so lovely. So thankful for this group. Me too. Me too, you guys. So I want to ask you right before we go into this meditation, has this full moon and this Imbolc holiday, have these last couple days, as this weekend, made anything clear to you in terms of your relationship with yourself? Is there anything that's come up for you? I've heard a couple things from the chat. I've heard Judith acknowledging that she doesn't feel like home to herself, but wishes she did. I've heard Eileen saying that her alone time has done her good and felt healthy for her. I hear Nancy connecting her relationship with herself, with her relationship with her home and what she creates in it and expresses for the collective, not just for herself and her family members, but for the full collective, how that space becomes a sanctuary. And I wonder if our relationship with home would evolve if we all thought that way. For anyone who walks in, this is the feeling. And it's funny, it's sad, I think, sometimes that we have to hack ourselves that way. Like, oh, well, I don't have to make it nice for me, but if company's coming over, right? All the time, I'm saying this to myself. If I have people coming over my house regularly, my house is clean. So I'm like, yeah, please drop in so that I can get on top of myself to do the little things that I don't always do, and it's oh well that I don't do them for me all the time, but it's nice to think about making it welcome for anyone because we are part of anyone. I hear Brittany saying her spirituality has felt empty and she wants to lean in. So I'm reflecting these things back to you because this is an opportunity for a turning point. And this is kind of the first one in the year where we've been swimming in the sea of 2026 for about a month, right? And all of the things that we felt about the year when it was fresh and shiny and new have had 30 days or so to bake, I guess a little more, 33 days or something like that to bake, right? And now we have the choice of letting ourselves kind of flump back into normal mode or decide mindfully with these, 4-ish weeks of reflection, here's the tone I want to set for the rest of the year. Maybe we want to set a tone of creating home in ourselves for us. Maybe we want to set a tone for some of us of leaning into our spirituality and filling that cup for ourselves so it becomes a place of abundance and joy. Maybe we want to set a tone into leaning deeper into our alone time as a way of refilling our cup. What is it, Coming up from Melissa, definitely inner child vibes, learning how much I really deserve to ask for things I want from certain people. Yeah. Yeah. And I want to say, as someone who is your friend, I want you to know that I actively want for you to ask me things. I actively want for you to ask me for things. If there's something I can do to make you feel good and make you feel like home and make you feel comfortable, I want to do that for you because you do those things for me. And that's the way, in my opinion, a loving relationship should work, right? All of you, I want you to ask me if there's something I can do to make your life a little easier, whether it is as simple as like reassurance and a listening ear, or something like, I'm going to need your help on this day, or like, whatever. I don't know what to do. Can you just be my sounding board and help me figure it out? I want you to ask me, you know? And I think it's important for us to remember that, because aren't there people in your life that you want to ask you? You want to know what they need from you so you can give it to them. And that direct communication would actually feel delicious. Mm. Judith is too stressed to sleep. So I, as your friend Judith, am giving you a loving assignment to find something you can do for yourself that will allow you to wind down to a place of sleep. Find an interim thing after today's broadcast that will allow you to let some of that stress go, like put out some of that nervous energy that won't like ramp you up to the point where you can't sleep at all, but will do the opposite. Will like let you expend some of that stress so that you can circle down for some rest. Eileen says, definitely coming to understand what I've been fighting for and virtually begging for in my relationship is also what my inner child needs for myself as well. And the good thing about our self relationship is that we cannot control what other people choose to give us. And sometimes other people are going to be unfair or simply unable to understand. And the result is the same, right? That we don't get that need met because they don't get it and they don't do it. But one advantage we have in our relationship with ourselves is we know us. We understand what we need. And sometimes the biggest hurdle in the world is to just allow ourselves to need it and ask ourselves, okay, what can I do then? Let's get this need met, I want to set a tone of truly knowing my worth from other people and not to always tiptoe around other feelings and shit, other people's feelings and shit. Yeah, that's delicious. You are a person I'm always comfortable asking for things for, and I feel thankful for that. Thank you. Same. I'm having my own experiences around being seen, especially in a personal way, but also in a professional way, as I consider what I want for my career to look like. And I realize that it is about being seen more, um, and how I feel about that, and how it feels when I know, oh, someone is seeing me and even perhaps choosing to be kind to me. And how conversely, that makes me want to go like hide in a corner. And I'm like, why? That's really interesting. I'm working on getting comfortable with being seen on this Leo new moon in a kind way, you know? And I think I can thank past Rory, and I think all of us have ways we can thank our past selves for being at this roadblock, right? When we've identified something that's coming up that we're like, oh gosh, I want to work on this. We couldn't have done it if we hadn't already done the previous work leading up to it. I couldn't be having this conflict right now about how uncomfortable it feels to be seen and receive kindness, even at times when I'm feeling 100 different ways, right, myself. I wouldn't be able to have this problem unless I had already done the work on saying, no, the people who choose to see me with maliciousness in their hearts, they don't get access to me anymore. The people who choose to be judgmental of me when what I need is kindness and gentleness, they're not on the list. They're not in the inner circle anymore. I'm not going to give them that vulnerability. So by having the strong boundaries, I've created the safety to connect with the people who see me and make me feel loved. And that has opened up a whole nother layer of my feelings of like worthiness or whatever, But what a blessing that I've opened up that other layer, right? And so I just want all of you to notice You're all here having these feelings, having these thoughts because you have done other work in the past that has let you get to this lesson. I'm going to read these comments and we're going to get settled for a meditation. Now, you can choose your adventure for the meditation. You can choose if you want to sit quietly. You can choose if you want to journal it out a little bit. You can choose if you want to walk around and consider these things, because I'm going to ask you some specific questions and I'm going to direct your attention inwards. So get yourself set for whatever that looks like, whether you're going to walk around the room in your own apartment, take a walk outside safely, obviously with your eyes wide open, right? It's chilly today though. Grab a pen and paper. I'm putting my hand on my journal. You can't see it. It's off screen. Whatever, get yourself ready. I'm also practicing this month in honor of my inner child daughter of cups, asking for help around my house from my roommate. Ooh, love that. I have a lot of conflict around doing that because I feel like I'm not owed anything just because someone is my roommate, and I worry about over asking because I just constantly felt like a burden growing up anytime I asked or needed help with physical tasks. But isn't the collective job of every person who lives there to create a space that is well cared for and well kept, right? And by you asking, aren't you just establishing actually an easy route for your roommate to do the same, right? You're looking around, and by asking, you're actually making it very simple, like, hey, this is a way you can contribute. I've actually done the mental work for you. This would help me, right? This would help our house, right? And then you're giving them the gift of an easy win. That could be a way to look at it. I like this insight from Eileen. Asking doesn't mean you believe they owe it to you. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's get comfortable. We're practicing shining a light on the parts of ourselves that need the most love right now, because that's how we establish love as a verb. So I would like you to right now connect with your breath. Just notice how you're breathing. Are your breaths long or short? Do you feel that you're filling up your lungs all the way and emptying them all the way with each breath, or are they more shallow? Breathing moves our body a little bit, especially around our head, neck, shoulders, chest. Do you notice any sensations as you do that? Sometimes the movement is what can help us to tune into our body a little bit. Do you notice any feelings as you investigate your breathing? Is there anyone who's like, "Oh man, I'm not breathing the way I'm meant to be"? Are you actually allowing some self-judgment to creep in about this most basic thing of you breathing? Or perhaps problem solving. "Oh no, I'm not breathing the way I think I probably am supposed to be breathing during a meditation. What should I do differently?" Let me make that one easy for you. Do a little exploring on the way that feels most comfortable to breathe right now. Make your breaths feel a little deeper if that feels comfortable for you. And consider breathing in and out through your nose or in through your nose and out through your mouth. And if your nose is too stuffy, don't worry about it. Be a mouth breather. Own it. Do the self-care thing of meeting yourself where you're at. And can you let yourself ride your breath like a paddleboard in the water? Letting yourself just feel the expansion and the feeling of breathing in, and feel the release, the gentle downhill slide of breathing out. Can you just have the experience that is your breath right now? And if anything's bothering you, if you need to do a wiggle, if you got a crick in your neck, if something's distracting you, like a tight piece of clothing or it being a little chilly, like do the thing you need to do so you can be comfortable. Permission granted to prioritize your comfort. I'm going to ask you some questions during this meditation, and I'm going to put them into the chat so that you can refer back to them if you want to, so that that can even become something you check in with regularly. We've been breathing a little while. I've deliberately put us into our body a little bit, riding our breath, feeling the feeling of being within our body. And I invite you now to describe what it feels like to be in your body right now. There's no wrong answers. You don't have to feel any certain type of way. If it makes you feel bad, talk about that. If it makes you feel good, talk about that. If it's a mixed bag, talk about it. How does it feel in your body right now? That's our first question. How does it feel to be in your body today? And I want to just give you some breaths to reflect on that, to explore how it feels. And you can just answer this question for within for yourself. You could speak aloud and describe it to yourself. You could journal it. I'm going to invite you not to put it in the chat until later, unless that feels really good for you, because I want you to have this moment of connection with yourself rather than like pulling yourself out of it to go type and look at a screen. How does it feel to be in your body today? And now I want to ask you, bigger than just the physical fact of your body, if we've been feeling around in there, what emotions are we feeling today? Your brain might start listing some feelings you felt throughout the day, or you might just want to like take a few breaths and feel and see what emotions come up. What emotions am I feeling right now? Can you give them names? I feel a little bit of nervousness. I feel a little bit like I want to make myself smaller, like hunching a little bit. I feel big. I feel angry. How do you feel? Knowing that you're allowed to feel anything. I have wonderful news for you. There are no laws on the books about our feelings. We are allowed to feel any feeling we want anytime, and no one will get hurt from us just feeling a thing. We're allowed to feel our feelings. And the next question I want to ask you is, how do those feelings feel inside of your body? And if you struggled with the last question, what am I feeling? This could lead you there. Oh, I notice I have a little bit of tension in my neck. That's a feeling I associate with anxiety. I notice I have butterflies in my stomach. That's a feeling I feel when I'm a little anxious. How does it feel in your body? How do your feelings feel in your body? Now I want to ask you to go a level deeper. And I'm going to ask that you either put your hand inside your own hand for this, holding your own hand, or you put your hands over your heart, or you place your hands anywhere on your body that feels like it needs attention. Because this question's big. What part of me needs something right now? What part of me needs attention right now? Is it an emotional part of you, like a feeling, or a part of your personality, like an inner child? Is it a physical part of you, like tightness in your hips? There's no wrong answer. You know the answer. What part of me needs the most attention right now? And I want you to just let yourself answer the question. And I'm going to give you a few breaths to think about it. Now I'm going to ask you to do a little experiment with me. I'd like you to give that part of you some attention. You can decide what feels right. If it's a part of your physical body, you can experiment with gentle movement, or you can experiment with the idea of breathing into it, or you can experiment with just sending love to it. We're not doctors. If there's something, you know, that needs medical treatment, we're not trying to give ourselves a miracle cure here, but we are giving ourselves some gentle, loving attention. So let's just experiment with directing that loving attention. If it's a part of our personality, like a wounded part of us or an inner child or an inner creative or an emotion, we might send it love, or we might ask it to tell us what it needs from us and just listen. I'm going to let you take this in your own way. And I'm giving us 3 minutes, which is not very long, but can feel very long. What does it feel like to just give attention to the part of me that needs it? Ready, set, go. Just focus on your experience. I'll let you know when the time has passed. Now that a few minutes have gone by, I want to just ask you, how do you feel right now? After giving some attention to yourself, can we redirect our focus to our body and our mind and just see what feelings come up? No wrong answers. If they're difficult feelings, might I suggest breathing through them nice and deep, letting the movement of your breath help you through. We just tuned into a part of ourselves that has needs. I want to ask you the question, how does it feel to let yourself need something? How does it feel in your body when I say those words? And how does it feel when I tell you you're allowed? You're allowed to need the thing. You're allowed to try to get those needs met. And I have one more question for you before I bring us back. Thinking about this part of me, is there something I can do this week to help it get what it needs? Maybe it's a little bit of time every day. Maybe it's a single action. Can I find one simple way to experiment with meeting this need a little better this week? Just one small action. You don't have to be a miracle worker. Just taking one little step is fine. And if anyone's struggling with that, I'm going to invite you to put it in the chat in a moment. We're going to do take a penny, leave a penny. Or if you're like, I have this need, but I have no idea. And let the community speak up and say, well, what if you tried this? There's nothing wrong with crowdsourcing some ideas. I want to ask you to put your hands over your heart and send love into your body through that heart center. Love is a verb. We know how to be loving. We can give that energy to ourselves. Send the loving energy into your own body, please. Let's take one more full breath here. And when you're ready, you can come back to us. Let us know how you're feeling. I want to let everyone have a moment to recalibrate. And I'd love to hear now what your experiences were like. Did anyone find any needs that they want to help meet a little better this week? Does anyone have any commitments they've made? If so, would you like to share them here so that we can cheer you on? If you're struggling to find a small action, would you put that in the chat? And maybe let someone suggest something to you. And I'm going to ask you if you'd be willing to give it a try in faith. It never hurts to experiment with trying to love ourselves a little better. I want you to know that the month of February is going to be a month of revelations and action. We're kicking off with this deep awareness with the full moon, seeing things we haven't seen, including ourselves, in a new light. In 2 weeks, we're going to get the Lunar New Year, a solar eclipse, and a new moon in Aquarius. We just had a full moon. I keep mixing them up. I don't know why. That's going to be a crisis of consciousness where we realize more things and we're going to feel compelled to make some actions and some changes. And so is everyone around us. This is going to be a month where the plot moves forward for many of us, both internally because of choices we've made and externally because of things that show up and happen because of choices other people have made. I invite you to be a friend and an ally to yourself while we go through this month. I invite you to make a decision right now to be on your own side, no matter what comes up. No matter what comes up inside, oh, I'm having an emotion that is difficult and I don't want to face, but I'm making a commitment to be on my own side anyway. I'm going to try to understand how to move forward with this. And to be on your own side for what comes up externally. I'm facing scary things happening in the world that I don't know what to do about. I'm facing this problem in my relationship or relationships. I'm facing this thing that feels overwhelming. And I'm choosing to be on my side for it. I am on my own team. Will you commit with me to being on your own team this month? I thought a lot of my inner child. This is Melissa. I just want to meet its needs and ask for shit without being afraid of doing it, without worrying how the other person would react from time to a favor, to a question, etc. Building the muscle, that's what I hear. Building the muscle of asking for what you need. Building the muscle of doing that without ruminating on how it's going to affect everyone else first. Practice makes perfect. I felt very in touch with a very small part of me during our meditation today. A part of me that really just needs and craves comfort and reassurance. And I'm asking myself how I can be on the side of that part throughout this month, both in seeking external sources of comfort and reassurance and in finding ways to give them to myself. Because what I know is that I am a safe space for someone who needs comfort and reassurance, so I could turn that energy on me. Thank you for being brave enough to go through this and share it with us, Eileen. My body immediately felt unsafe. During the meditation, I felt a bunch of tangled feelings, fear, mistrust, tension. And as I recognized I don't know how to be in my relationship without losing myself, and then a ton of shame poured in for that. I just want to tell you what an amazing witness you've become, Eileen, to be able to notice all of this and report it. That does not happen overnight. That is your hard work. I'm not knowing what to do about the not knowing how. I don't know how to not share this with him, but I don't feel safe to do so either. I hear you. It's really hard. It's really hard when we need things from someone and we know that we may or may not get them. And sometimes we need things from someone and we know that we're unlikely to get them based on past experiences. And then there's two things that we have to think about. And one of them is advocating for ourselves. I do deserve to get this need met. I do deserve to have the difficult conversation. And another one is showing up right now for what we need. Because advocating for ourselves, if we're already feeling challenged, will challenge us further, right? We're being brave when we advocate for ourselves. So we have to lean in extra to our self-care, extra to giving ourselves the love and the safety and the kindness we deserve. Because we need even more when we're being brave like that, right? And what does self-advocacy look like? And what does self-kindness look like while you're doing that very, very hard work? And how can we give ourselves so much extra? How can we be on our own side? And I want to invite you, Eileen, to make this group your sharing space. If you feel that your sharing with your partner is going to be a mixed bag of results for you emotionally, I want you to know that you have a safe space to share here with us, and you'll be receiving reassurance and listening and kindness. So I want to offer you that space while you're navigating this. You can share anything you want to share here. There is no oversharing. We want to listen. And I want to invite you to be your own friend through it. To notice what hard work you're doing. And be proud of that. And also give yourself the breaks and the kindness that you need. I know you're a teacher. I know you know how to help a young learner who is really doing their best to push through something that's hard for them. And I know you know what an intimate dance it is to give them the encouragement they need. Yes, you can do this. And also to give them the breaks that they need so that they don't push themselves too hard. So that they build confidence rather than shame. And I encourage you to turn that loving wisdom onto yourself. Nancy has a cardiology appointment and a CT scan to see if the spots in my lungs have grown since that last scan. Next week, I have an appointment with my primary care provider. I fully expect she'll recommend GLP-1 again, and I do not want to take those. Then the week after, I have an appointment with my pulmonologist to hear about my scans. I don't like going to the doctors. I feel shame and a certain amount of stubborn obstinance in these situations. I hear you. This stuff's really hard. And I just want to affirm you in knowing that you don't want to take GLP-1. I want to affirm you in going and getting this care, even though it feels shameful and challenging because you know your body does need care. Just want to point out to you how brave you're being, how strong you're being, and showing up for yourself. And we are a sounding board, and we support you. We're on your side, and I hope you'll be on your side too. I went a little long today. It's the new moon. It's in bulk. We got a lot going on. I'll see you again next week. But our whole job for the next 2 weeks is to be on our own side. Can we make that a practice? And if you'd like to make some full moon water, there's still time. You can put it out tonight. You can put it out the next 3 nights if you want. And let the light of this full moon inform you. If there's something you're so ready to release, tell the full moon that and pour that water out in a way that feels meaningful for you when it's done. If there's something you need, ask the moon to bring you clarity on how to give it to yourself and drink that water. That's what I am doing, by the way. I am asking the full moon for clarity, the clarity that I need to help make the choices I need to make to move forward on my own side. Brittany says, I relate. My doctors keep trying to send me to a dispensary or get me on Botox. Stick to your convictions. Oh, sorry, my phone rang. And I'm using it to broadcast. Sorry. Yeah, thank you for that. It's really hard managing our health and navigating healthcare for 1,000,001 reasons, right? But also understanding that we have to show up for what's going to work for us. And we have to walk that line between yes, we seek medical advice because medical professionals went to school for this and know how to take care of bodies. And also we have to honor our convictions. We have to honor what we know will work for our bodies and our psychology and what we do and don't believe is healthy for us. So I know that's a line to walk for everyone. I'm just sending you so much love. Oh, I'm so sorry, Judith. Yeah, my phone is usually on silent and it clearly isn't. It rang. Everything is okay. It was just a phone. Good news. All right, my loves. Please be on your own sides this week. I'll see you again on Monday. Take good care.